Last week, Dr. Craig Spencer flew to New York City from Guinea, where he was working with Doctors Without Borders to treat Ebola patients. Since then, he's become a target for some, but a hero for others.
They know that he went bowling at the Gutter in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. He went to the Blue Bottle coffee stand on the Highline Park. He visited the meatball shop on Greenwich Avenue. Now, we also know that he rode the subway. This is all before he became feverish.
Thanks to the CDC, we know these are most of the places Spencer visited before he was taken to Bellevue Hospital. Hence the accusations that the doctor was being irresponsible.
He's here for a week. He doesn't tell anybody. And if he starts to feel symptomatic before his 103 fever, he's still out there bowling and taking taxis and not self-quarantining.
Folks on Twitter weren't exactly pulling their punches either, with some openly insulting Spencer for his actions. It wasn't just harsh judgment, though. The internet snark started to show as commenters came up with the Ebola hashtag in reference to Spencer's bowling. There was so much talk surrounding Spencer's bowling escapade that the New York Times released a blurb on whether you can get Ebola from a bowling ball. Short answer, it's extremely unlikely. But just in the past 24 hours or so, all that outrage has been met with praise for Spencer. His supporters say it took courage to travel to West Africa and fight Ebola in the first place. Doctors Without Borders released a statement saying he followed all the correct guidelines set up for someone returning home after treating Ebola patients. Those guidelines include checking your temperature 2 times a day, finishing malaria prevention, being aware of relevant symptoms, staying within 4 hours of a hospital with isolation rooms, and immediately contacting Doctors Without Borders if any symptoms start. Times' Charlotte Alter went after the Ebola hashtag, saying we should be praising Ebola victims, not mocking them, and that people joking about Spencer don't seem to realize his life is in danger. Sarah Cliff at Vox lauded Spencer for his work in Africa and says people demanding doctors returning from West Africa be put in mandatory quarantine have it wrong. She writes, if the cost of treating infectious diseases was to give up everything else you love in life, no doctors would treat infectious diseases, and we would all be at much greater risk. But that's the reality for anyone returning to New York, New Jersey, and Illinois, 3 states that have put in place a mandatory 21-day quarantine for anyone returning from West Africa after treating Ebola patients. For Newsy, I'm Christian Bryant.